Yeah, check this out. We don't talk about things that are nonsense. We don't even entertain nonsense, my brother.
In the gritty streets of hip-hop history, few tales are as raw and explosive as the feud between Tupac Shakur and Sean P Diddy Combs. This saga of betrayal, accusations, and bloodshed is etched into rap lore, with Tupac's bold finger pointing at P Diddy, igniting a wildfire that still smolders in the heart of the culture. But what pushed Tupac, the voice of the streets, to call out one of the game's biggest moguls? Let's dive into the gritty details that bind their fates. Tupac Shakur wasn't just a rapper. He was a street poet, a revolutionary with a mic. His lyrics painted the harsh realities of life in the hood, capturing the struggles, hopes, and anger of the disenfranchised. By the early 90s, Tupac had skyrocketed to fame, becoming the voice of a generation tired of systemic oppression and urban decay. His albums, such as Tupacalypse Now and Me Against the World, weren't just hits. They were anthems for those living the harsh reality of the streets. Tupac's charisma and talent made him a beloved figure, but his life was never free from controversy. Legal troubles and a tumultuous personal life kept him in the headlines, and his fearless stance against injustice made him both a hero and a target. The mid-90s saw the hip-hop world split in two: the East Coast, repped by Bad Boy Records and P Diddy, and the West Coast with Death Row Records and Suge Knight. Tupac, fresh out of jail and with a new deal with Death Row, became the torchbearer for the West. What started as a rivalry for the top spot soon turned into a full-blown war, with diss tracks flying and tension mounting. Tracks like Biggie's Who Shot Ya were perceived as taunts, fueling the fire of suspicion and animosity. The media played a massive role in fanning the flames, sensationalizing the rivalry and turning it into a spectacle. The beef wasn't just about music anymore. It was about pride, territory, and respect. Every slight, every insult was magnified, leading to a dangerous escalation. The turning point came on November 30th, 1994. Tupac was ambushed and shot 5 times in the lobby of Quad Recording Studios in Manhattan. Surviving the attack, Tupac was convinced it was a setup. He pointed the finger at his East Coast rivals, Biggie Smalls and by association, P Diddy. This wasn't just street talk. Tupac believed he had been betrayed by those he once called friends. Rumors swirled about who was responsible. Some said it was a robbery gone wrong, but Tupac wasn't buying it. He believed that Biggie and Diddy knew about the attack in advance, or worse, had orchestrated it. This suspicion wasn't just based on paranoia. Tupac had heard whispers and seen enough to make him doubt the loyalty of those he had once been close to. Tupac didn't just keep his suspicions to himself, he blasted them out for the world to hear. In his track, Against All Odds, from the posthumous album, The Don Illuminati, The 7-Day Theory, Tupac went straight for the jugular. He called out names, accusing P Diddy of being involved in the Quad Studio shooting. His words were sharp and unapologetic, turning up the heat in the already boiling East Coast-West Coast beef. The track was more than just a diss, it was a declaration of war. Tupac laid it all bare, expressing his fury and sense of betrayal in raw, unfiltered lyrics. He wasn't just attacking P Diddy and Biggie, he was taking on the entire East Coast establishment that he felt had turned against him. Tupac's accusations didn't just stir the pot, they blew the lid off. The feud escalated, leading to more violence and more bodies. Tupac was gunned down in a drive-by shooting in 1996, and 6 months later, Biggie met the same fate. The hip-hop world was left in shock, mourning the loss of 2 of its brightest stars. The deaths of Tupac and Biggie marked the darkest chapter in hip-hop history. The streets were left to pick up the pieces, and the music industry was forced to confront the deadly consequences of its rivalries. The East Coast-West Coast beef had claimed its biggest victims, and the ripple effects were felt across the globe. Even years after Tupac's death, his accusations against P Diddy linger like a ghost. While some see Tupac's claims as the paranoia of a man pushed to the edge, others believe there might be truth hidden in his fiery words. P Diddy has always denied any involvement, but the shadow of those accusations still hangs over him. The mystery surrounding the Quad Studio shooting and Tupac's death has fueled countless conspiracy theories. Books, documentaries, and countless articles have tried to piece together the puzzle, but definitive answers remain elusive. The lack of closure has only added to Tupac's legend, making him a martyr in the eyes of many fans.